All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Shem Al Shai, right? We're finna do the Feast of Tabernacle, right? Okay, so the 3 high holy days of the 7 months, right? So we already did the Feast of Memorial Blowing of the Trumpet and the Day of Atonement. Now we're doing the last one, Feast of Tabernacle, right? Okay, now 95% of the high holy days you can find in Leviticus the 23 chapter, right? Okay, all besides the Day of Simon, Destruction of Nicanor, Feast of Dedication, and Purim, right? But other than that, the rest of them, just read Leviticus 23 chapter. You'll find 95% of the high holy days right in there, right? So this is the Feast of Tabernacle, right? Let's get into it, okay? Right? Let's see how we keep it, okay? This is Leviticus 23 and 33, right? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, 34, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day of the 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacle for 7 days unto the Lord. 35, on the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, right? Meaning you shall have a tent prior to the Feast of Tabernacle, right? Because you can buy the tent on the first day because it is a Sabbath. And also a tabernacle is a tent, right? And our forefathers in the wilderness dwelt in booths or tents, right? And also the first day shall be in the holy convocation. So you have to be with your brethren on the first day, right? And it is no buying and selling on that day, right? But it is a feast day, right? And you can grill, and it is not a lot of ordinance on the Feast of Tabernacle, right? But only in that tent for 7 to 8 days, right? And we can't take off of work for 7 to 8 days, right? So we go to work and come back to our tents, right? And everything you need to survive and put in your tent, right? And no servile work, meaning people that clean pools or someone clean houses like a maid or a butler, right? Or cutting grass or lawn care. And that is service. So you can't do any work for her that day, and that's servile work, right? And all work isn't the same, and that's why the Most High said no servile work therein, right? Because it is a level of work that can be done on this day, but no work that you can receive a payment or receive in a materialistic thing for exchange for service, right? Now, the work that can be done is the work that goes into the feast day. It may be animals to be sacrificed in the ancient world, or booths being set up and the trees being cut down and take the boughs from the godly trees and palm trees, right? But now we are setting up our tents, and these are the things that can be done, right? But if you decide on October the 4th at sundown and you have a lawn care and you want to cut grass that day, but now you violated because you did servile work, right? So let's go to verse 36. 7 days you shall offer an offer made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you. And ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no servile work therein, right? So 7 days of feasting and rejoicing, and the 8th day is a Sabbath as well, right? And the difference between the first day and the 8th day is a solemn assembly. So it is a little bit more serious than the first day, right? And you kind of in a serious spirit and kind of reminding yourself how the Most High was dealing with our forefathers, right? And the things that they saw when they were dwelling in the tents and dwelling in booths, right? And the rebellions, and everyone died besides Joshua and Caleb, right? And that generation after them, and you are kind of thinking about these things in the tent, right? And how your forefathers dwelled in the wilderness, and not what's going on in the news, ESPN, social media, etc., right? So you have to think about your forefathers when you're dwelling in the tents in the wilderness in your mind, and you're constantly in the law, right? Verse 37, these are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation, to offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, and a sacrifice and drink offering, everything upon his day. 38, besides the Sabbath of the Lord, and besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and besides all your free will offerings, which ye give unto the Lord. Verse 39, Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered it in the fruit of the land, you shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath, right? And that is why the Feast of Tabernacle and on an horticultural level, and it is about you gathering up the crops before the wintertime come in, right? And all your increase, what you have grown in tomatoes, corn, wine, etc., and you are gathering all these things in, and you are kind of storing it up, right? Because the wintertime is coming in, and the crops are not going to be able to survive, right? So this is gathering and rejoicing in the eyes of the Lord, right? And that is why you are harvesting your crop, and the majority of the time around the Feast of Tabernacle, it is a bright full moon, in which they call it a harvest moon, right? And sometimes it's a dark orange or a blood moon on this Feast of Tabernacle, right? Verse 40. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brooks, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days, right? So you brothers and sisters, man, don't feel bad if you don't have any trees to cut down, and get you a tent, right? Whosoever is rehearsing the righteous acts, Judges 5:11, right? Verse 41. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Verse 42. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. 43. That your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in. Let me read that again. That your generation may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God, right? And it was about our forefathers was in the wilderness, right? And now in the kingdom of heaven, and them other nations are going to have to keep the Feast of Tabernacle, right? But they are not going to dwell in booths, and they may be just out there, right? And only the Israelites that are born will dwell in booths, right? And them other nations might be laying outside and having a miserable time, right? So, and you can read about that in Zechariah the 14th chapter, the 16th verse, right? Verse 44. And Moses declared it unto the children of Israel, the feast of the Lord. So, right, so this is the Feast of Tabernacle, and right, and we got to practice the righteous act, okay? Right? Okay, because we in this captivity, right? So let me go to the classic. This is Judges 5:11. They that are delivered it from the noise of Archer in the place of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his village in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates, right? The noise of Archer meaning war, right? So in a time of war, in a place of affliction, that draws water, right? In a mineral task of slavery, right? Then Joshua in the 9th chapter, the 21st verse on down to 27, when you read the whole chapter, right? Did he make the Gibeonites jars of waters and hewers of wood, right? Okay, right? So that's a task of slavery, okay? So in the place of slavery, affliction, and war, and the prophecy says that we will rehearse the righteous acts, right? So that's what we're doing. We're rehearsing the righteous acts in the last days, right? Because we're supposed to go to Jerusalem 3 times a year, right? Last time I checked, then we supposed to, that's Deuteronomy 16:16, we're supposed to go back for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Wheat, Feast of Tabernacles. Let's prove that. This Deuteronomy 16 and verse 16. This Deuteronomy 16 and 16. 3 times in a year shall all the males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Right? So we can't go to Jerusalem, right? So we got to practice the righteous acts, right? So that means we got to get our tents, okay, and be in this captivity, right? So let's, don't act like them Christians. Them Christians say, we can't go to Jerusalem. We can't keep these high holy days. Well, last time I checked, ain't that Romans 15:4, loose and paraphrasing? When these scriptures are written for our learning, right? Last time I checked, the children of Israel, they kept the Passover in captivity. And that's first Esdras 7 and 10. Let's go to it. First Esdras 7 and 10. This is first Esdras 7 and verse 10. And the children of Israel that were of the captivity held the Passover the 14th day of the first month. After that, the priests and the Levites were sanctified. Right. So it's no excuse. Okay. Who put us in captivity? The Most High. Okay. Right. So we in this captivity. So it's no excuse. So we got to practice the righteous acts. Okay. And back in the ancient world, they used to make booths, right? They cut down the trees and, all right, make their booths. But, now we practicing the righteous acts, okay? We just go to Walmart or go to Amazon and get us a tent, right? So you can go to Amazon or Estes or Walmart and get y'all a tent, all right? Now, say, for example, if you can't afford a tent, right, that's no problem, okay? Just go get you a sheet. Get you some long strings. Go to Dollar Tree, Dollar General store. Get you some long rope or whatever. All right. Put it on one wall against another one. And put it over your bed like this, okay? All right. So the end of the sheet, right? You put a book or something to hold it on the other side of the bed. Like a clothespin or something like that, right? So you up under that tent. Okay. You in your bed. But don't be in your bed without that tent, okay? Right? So get your old sheet. I don't care if y'all don't have nothing but one sheet. You take that sheet off your bed, off your mattress, okay? And use it as a tent, okay? Right? So same concept with you. Man, it's brothers and sisters 13, 12 years old, 14, 15, 16 years old in this truth, okay? Maybe their mama can't buy them a tent. With this, what you do, same concept. You get a sheet, put it over, all right, your bed. Get your long rope, have it like that. You up under it, okay, right? But if y'all can't afford a tent, okay, just put the tent in your front room, okay? Or youngsters, just get your bed, move your bed out the way, put the mattress up. Set your tent in your room. All depends how big your room is, right? Okay? So, right, and so technically, and if you brothers out there or sister living in a car, go get a rope, put it on your rearview mirror, go put it on these handles right here, go across, put your sheet over it, put this sheet on this side, put that sheet on that side, and it's like that. Lay your back. Okay, now you up under the tent. It's about practicing the righteous acts. If it's a brother and sister, and you gotta think about it, it's brothers and sisters in this truth that on hard times, maybe they got a phone, maybe they can't afford no service. They have to go to McDonald's or any store, just sit outside, get some Wi-Fi, and listen to the breakdowns. How to keep the Feast of Tabernacle. And they might have to go up on a bridge and get them an old sheet, an old tarp, or a trash bag, a couple of trash bags, and make it look like a tent up under there. They practicing the righteous act. I don't know nobody like that, but I'm quite sure it's somebody that's true. They're trying to practice the righteous act. They're trying to keep these feast days. Okay? So, and you brothers, now, if you brothers got a backyard, go put y'all tent in the backyard. Now, if you sisters, y'all by yourself, okay, I'm not worried about the sisters that got a husband, because that's what the husband's for, right? But you single sisters, okay, if y'all don't have a husband, All right. I wouldn't tell you go out there to the park. Just go get your tent. If you got a tent, put it in your front room, okay? All right? Put it in your front room. If you ain't got no tent, well, just make that tent in the bed, right? With your sheet, right? Okay? But if you feel comfortable, you got a backyard, you sister single in the backyard, y'all go in the backyard. But I wouldn't tell y'all go to the park by yourself, okay? We practicing the righteous act. But you brothers, now, ain't no excuse. If y'all got a backyard, y'all go to the backyard, okay? But if y'all live in an apartment, hey, man, it's okay, man. Just put it in your front room, okay? You brothers and sisters, y'all live in an apartment, right? Just go put it in the front room, all right? All right? But if a brother like me, I got acres, you know what I mean? Well, it's no excuse for me. I got to go to the country, okay? Right? So it's about practicing the righteous acts, okay? So, now, they got tents at Amazon. Now, I'm not for sure. I know they got tents at Walmart, but them tents they got, you put the poles or whatever, I forgot, Slocky, forgive me. You stick to the ground, right? But you go to Amazon, you can get them pop-up tents, right? So P-O-P-U-P, pop-up tent, you put it in the search in Amazon. That's all you gotta do, just take it out the bag and just throw it, and it'll unfold. You ain't gotta do all that, putting them long lines in there and stick it to the ground. So, right, so, I mean, there's some of them like $59 on up to $80 to $100, but just check it out. So you got plenty of time before October the 4th, that sundown, right? So just throwing some options out there, so go to Walmart or go to Amazon, okay? All right? So now we need to talk about this, okay? So it start October the 4th at sundown, right? To October the 12th at sundown when it's in, right? Now, I want y'all to look at y'all calendar, all right? Because, October the 3rd, Friday night sundown, it's our regular Sabbath, right? Okay, no buying, no selling, no cooking, all right? All right, to that Saturday evening. When that Saturday evening come in, Saturday evening, 4th at sundown, that's our Feast of Tabernacles start, okay? So it's no buying, no selling, no servile work. So it's a double Sabbath. So you need to have your tent prior to this, okay? Right? But Saturday night sundown, you can cook, but no servile work, no buying and selling, okay? Saturday night at sundown, all right? That's the first day. So let's go to it. So till Sunday evening on the 5th at sundown, then that Sabbath is over with, okay? So follow me. On the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, you can go to work. You can buy and sell between those days, right? Remember, it's a double Sabbath. So our Friday night sundown, we not stopping the feast days because of the Sabbath. So Friday night, you listen, pay attention. Friday night sundown, you can still cook. All right, we're not stopping the feast days because of the Sabbath. All right, but no buying, no selling, no working though. But you still can cook. All right. So pay attention. So the 11th on Saturday, 11 at sundown, that's the beginning of the last day. So Saturday evening at sundown on 11, all the way up to Sunday evening at 12 at sundown, boom, it's over with. So Saturday on 11 at sundown, that's the 8th day, all the way up Sunday evening on the 12th at sundown, and it's over with. So remember, it's a double back-to-back Sabbath, all right? Friday night sundown, okay, to Saturday sundown. All right, Saturday sundown, it's another Sabbath start, okay? Right? So it's a double Sabbath. All right? I'm trying to make sure I cover everything. I will post the flyer, okay? I will post the flyer up about a week before, okay? What y'all can get, what y'all need out there, or whatever. So we practicing the righteous acts, right? Okay, so right. But on the feast days, right? On the feast days, we need to be reading the accounts, right, about our forefathers, okay? Like Numbers the 21st chapter, Numbers the 14th chapter, and Leviticus 21st chapter, Nehemiah the 8th chapter, and 2nd Esdras the 1st chapter. We need to be reading these chapters, right? Okay, right? So when we in our tent, so we can't be in a tent marrying like our forefathers did. When we gonna get out this tent? When is the Feast of Tabernacles gonna be over with? I'm sick of this. No, we can't have that mindset. We gotta enjoy it, all right? I love the Feast of Tabernacles. I love all of them, but this is my favorite one, the Feast of Tabernacles, okay? So this is what we gotta do, all right? I'm gonna recap that again, all right? Because I wanna make sure y'all get that right. It's a double Sabbath, right? So you know the Friday on the 3rd at sundown, October the 3rd at sundown, Friday night sundown to Saturday at sundown is our regular Sabbath. No buying, no selling. You better have your food already ready, okay? But soon Saturday night at sundown on the 4th, the Feast of Tabernacle, that's the first day, is a Sabbath. So you can cook, but no working, no buying, no selling, okay? You can cook all the way up to Sunday, the 5th at sundown, then the Sabbath is over with, okay? So again, on the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, you can still cook, you can buy and sell, you can go to work, okay, right? But the 10th at sundown is a Sabbath, still is a double Sabbath, all right? You can still cook, all right? So we're not stopping the feast day because of Sabbath, but no buying and selling. Friday night all the way to Saturday night on 11, right? No buying, no selling, no working, but you still can cook, right? Because the 8th day is on a Saturday 11, on 11 at sundown. That's going to be the 8th day, all the way up to Sunday evening on the 12th at sundown. So it's over with, okay? So I just want to recap that, all right? But you got any questions, comments, and concern, even on the email, okay, or on Instagram, explain it again or whatever, okay? All right, this is what I'm here for, right? So I'm trying to make sure I got everything before I get off of her, right? Okay, so like I say, brothers and sisters, don't stress out about it. You can't get no tent, all right? Just go get a sheet. You're practicing the righteous act, all right? Okay, the Most High know that we in captivity. Who you think put us in captivity? The Most High, okay? So you want to show the Most High, okay, when we go in front of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in that day, you can't be like, well, man, I couldn't afford no tent. I'm not keeping that Feast of Tabernacle. No, you can't have that mindset. We gotta practice the righteous act. We want Yahweh Hashem Yahushua say, okay, I understand they're in captivity. I put them in captivity, right? So, but they didn't make no excuses. They did what they had to do. They practiced the righteous act. All right. So, you brothers, sisters, all right, let's keep these feast days, all right? Like I say, got any questions, comments, concern, hit me on Instagram, hit me up on my email, all right? So, right, I think I covered everything, all right? I'm trying to cover all angles because, like I say, it's 12, 13 years, 14 years old, and it's true. They listen, okay, right? I'm trying to make sure, you know, hey, they get it, all right? So, like I say, you women, okay, y'all in the apartment, I ain't telling you to go out there by yourself, all right? In the park, okay, just you got an apartment, put the tent in your front room, all right? If you ain't got no tent, make a sheet over your bed, right? But don't nobody sleep in that bed without that tent, all right? October the 4th, the sun down, boom, you better have your tent. You better have your sheet. You better not be in that bed without that tent, okay? All right? If you got a tent in your front room all through the week, don't have that mindset, well, you know, it's all right, it's 2 or 3 in the evening. Well, I'm gonna go lay in my bed. No, you better go in that tent, all right? You wanna lay down, you better go in that tent. You better not go in that bed without no tent over it, all right? Okay? But anyway, right, I think I covered everything, all right? It's really not a lot of ordinance to it, okay? Right? It's really not a lot of ordinance. So, but anyway, y'all join y'all Feast of Tabernacles, okay? Right? I want to give honor and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Shalom.